you know?
Yeah, no, everything, I just kept going over it and double checking and it all makes sense, you know, so.
Yeah, it makes sense when a painter talks to you about it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I was saying, it was better for me to talk to you.
So our carrier base 04 with our Silver Max mixture, we got it applied 3 coats, looks beautiful, it's dry, nice and smooth. I want to talk to you guys about how to do a quick way of mixing a color and using it as an effect without having to mix up a candy or a concentrate or anything and do a whole combination of SG100 or Transnebuli mixed with the KK. It's real easy. A lot of people ask me, how do I create a lot of the designs and it looks like candy, but it actually isn't. All I do is take a straight carrier base with no effect in it at all, reduce it 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5. I'll mix that up, and because the pigment in the carrier bases is so fine, it'll mimic a candy. But you're actually not mixing a candy, you're just mixing a straight carrier base with no pigment in it. So I'll use this, throw it in my airbrush, and I'll create some freehand little filler stuff inside this panel. But it's a real quick way to create an effect using just a carrier base. It'll dry like a base. You're not gonna have any issues with it bleeding later on as you do with the candy concentrate, especially cobalt blue. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use a freehand stencil and just airbrush some designs in here, and it'll dry just like a base coat, easy, and it'll mimic just a straight candy. So using a straight carrier base, reducing it down, airbrushing with it, mimics a candy. I just did a real quick little fade around a graphic. Doing it on portraiture, anything like that, especially guys that are doing fine detail, because you're using a base and reducing it rather than a candy and reducing it, you're not gonna worry about bleed through, and you can work up different layers to make it from semi-transparent to an opaque, and you can build up different layers. So guys that like Steve Gibson, when he's doing portraiture, he can use something like this. I've seen him use stuff like this where he builds up different shades of color to create depth. And that's what a good thing about using a carrier base instead of trying to mix Transnebuli with a KK to use it to airbrush with to do that fade. This is a quick way to do it and an easy way to do it. And it's, I found it dries better. It holds up to taping on back over it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unmask this, and then we're gonna do another graphic on top.